Tim Urban. So Tim has microdots. And what I did is I went ahead and I created this this Excel spreadsheet. Okay. And I took 52 weeks across the top. See here. So these are every year going across the top represents 1 week of your life. And then going from the top to the bottom, every square represents, every row represents 1 year of your life. So if you have 52 weeks along the top row, 52 squares is 52 weeks, which is 1 year. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take from week 21 to 31 here and just kind of shrink it a little bit. I'm going to hide them because you understand it goes from 1 to 52. You don't need to see all the way across, because what I want to do is focus here. So let me get out of the way a little bit. So if this is how fast time goes, if you allow it to go by, this will make you understand and appreciate how fast time goes. And that's the purpose of this thing. I was intrigued. I whipped up this little spreadsheet and I want to talk about it the way it appealed to me. So to me, I said the first couple of years, the first 10 years of your life, okay, those are your formative years. Those are your childhood. You're learning how to talk, how to walk, learning about who your parents are, the family unit, and that kind of thing, hopefully. And what you're doing here is just being a kid, a baby, right? You're starting school. It's your development. And that accounts for 468 weeks of your life, your first to the end of your 10th year. Okay. So actually the end of your 9th year. Okay. So the first 9 years. Now, your second 10 years from 10 to 19, that is 520 weeks. That's 52 times 10. Duh, don't need to be a mathematician, but those are your carefree years. And I have those in weeks, of course. Every dot is a week. And so just to see how fast time goes, right? The next 10 years of your life was carefree years. Then the next segment of your life from 20 to 34 years old, I have that listed as your apprentice years. Those are the years, whether you're in college or out of college, right? So at 20 years old, maybe you've gotten through high school, went through a couple of years of tech school, maybe you went to some community college, maybe you're in a 4-year degree and that starts around 24. That's fine. That happens. But I've got to go into year 34. These are your apprentice years. Okay. And each week has a dot in it. So how many of you are in your 30s, in your 20s, in your early 30s, that you've really been putting in this time to learn your craft, learn your career, find yourself, figure out how you want to help people, who you want to help, and then start working for companies that allow you to learn how to do this, right? That's your apprentice years. And you see, I'm done with mine, right? I'm done. I'm not 9. I'm done with those years, right? I'm not in high school and enjoying my summers, my carefree years, right? Living at home. I'm not in my apprentice years. I am in my wealth building years right here, wealth building years in weeks. So for me, all right, so from age 35, I figure by age 35, you've done enough learning, and now you should be somewhere in your life that you're really starting to do well in your career, in your chosen career. And that's why I call this the wealth building years, because let me tell you something, at 39 years old, I lost everything. I was building my wealth and I lost everything at 39 years old. So I started over again, all the way back here, man. I wouldn't have no carefree time, but I had to start over my apprentice years again, but way down here in year 40. But for the most part, everyone has setbacks. For me, it was a very, 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 very big one, but a lot of people have smaller setbacks. But still, within this time, this is all you've got. By the way, you only get one set of these squares, guys. You only get one set of squares. You don't know what you got here in your formative years. You don't know how fun you have it here in your carefree years. You don't know how much you have to learn here in your apprentice years. By the time you get here, you better be aware that this is it. You only have so much time on the clock left to build your wealth. So on your wealth, what I did was I gave everyone from 35 years old to 64 years old. You turn 65. Here's me. This week. This week is week number 32, week 32 of 2022. This is my week. That's it. So these squares here, okay, they're all unchecked. You know, this is more to prove a point, obviously, but here's these boxes that need to be checked. So I have another, listen, what am I? I'm about 50%, right? Look at that. I got time. God forbid, God, you know, my ears, my mouth to God's ear. But in total, there are 1,560 weeks in my wealth building years. I'm at 863. All right. That means I have 697 weeks left. I'm more than halfway through my wealth building period. Some people might have started a little bit earlier. Some people are going to work a little longer. That's totally, you know, I'm just talking about the concept of appreciating how short life is, how appreciating how short these segments in your life is. And yes, you could take a couple time, you know, here or there off. You could take a week off, enjoy your family. You're supposed to do that, but don't take off months and months and months at a time, walking around a damn mountain, not taking any steps up towards the gold. You don't have that much time left. And by the way, none of this is guaranteed to anyone, obviously, right? I'm not here talking about theology or religion or none of that, but just physiology and stats. Now, let's go from 65 to 74. I called this my carefree years. So I regress. If I did a good job with my wealth building years, I should be able to, my last 10 years here, you know, of my hopefully good health, relatively healthy person nowadays up to 74 years old. So 65 to 74, I get time, real time, another 500 of another carefree years, 520 carefree weeks where I've got my wealth amassed, that my money's working for me. My companies are working for me. I've helped a lot of people. I'm still able to help people in ways that I never could imagine I would be able to help people. That's what's going on here in my carefree years. Because after 65 to the average age, I'm sorry, 75 to the average age of 90, which is the average of what people lived in. This is just, I don't know where Tim Urban got these numbers. I'm expecting that he's done some research. I used his numbers. These are called the hold on to your ass years, right? Hold on, stick around, try to enjoy it. Now your health may not be as is in favor as they were, you know, in your younger years. Of course, that's why I call it hold on. These last, who knows, could be to 100, could be whatever. But the most important thing is, and something to think about too, is what if you're in great health all the way to year, you know, 75 and 80, 81? They're not subjective. Time is not it's abstract thing. It's a very defined thing. If you put it on a spreadsheet like this, and you look at it that way. Thanks for watching that video segment. If you enjoyed it and like to see more content just like that one, click over here. If you'd like to see that video in its entirety, click over here. Thank you.